The third inductee is DeVier Pierson. He is co-chair of the OU College of Law Board of Visitors, served as special counsel for Hunton and Williams in Washington, D.C., served as special counsel to President Lyndon B. Johnson, and served as, among other things, as chief counsel to the Joint Committee on the Operation of Congress. Quotes from two individuals about DeVier. The first is Andy Coates. Andy Coates, I represent clients. DeVier represents countries. He indicates he's the brightest, most articulate person I know. When I grow up, I'd like to be DeVier Pierson. Early in my deanship, when the law school was in need of much attention, he was the first person to help me see there might be a light at the end of the tunnel. His early encouragement and support was a turning point in my deanship and the start of what turned out to be a successful fundraising campaign to renovate and add on to the law school. And I would echo Andy's quotes every step of the way. DeVier is there. Bob Burke, your biographer. Bob Burke's comment. One of DeVier's famous clients was Elliott Abrams, a central figure in the Iran-Contra affair. In his autobiography, Abrams offered a unique view of his lawyer from Oklahoma. Abrams wrote, tall, silver-haired, with the polite and old-fashioned manners and speech of a well-bred Oklahoma lawyer. He is the central casting Western lawyer who talks slowly and quietly, then exits a room, leaving everyone feeling satisfied and friendly, and wondering how it is they have all just agreed to give it up and see things his way. At this time, I'd like to invite DeVier Pierson and Matt Brown to the stage. DeVier Pierson is a graduate of the class of 1957. While at OU, DeVier was managing editor of the Oklahoma Law Review and moot court national champion winner. The student presenting him is Matt Brown, a Calvert moot court finalist and articles editor for the Oklahoma Law Review. Matt, please give Mr. Pierson his award.
Well, I don't think I'll tell my favorite owl jokes at this point. But I do remember when Shirley and I went to the dedication, or I guess the kickoff of the new athletic dorm, and Sam Bradford spoke off the cuff as they unveiled his 20-foot statue. And the first thing he said was, "This is a surreal evening." I thought, that's the way I want my Heisman Trophy winners talking. Yeah. But this is a surreal evening. I have to say that all of my friends who have come here tonight, and we have shared so many life experiences over so many decades, have never, ever used the term wise old owl with me. I want to bottle that generous introduction that Joe gave me and take it back to my grandchildren, because my grandchildren think that I'm just that old guy with a kind of weird sense of humor. And now I can tell them and have tangible evidence that I'm actually a wise old owl. They will then think that I'm this old guy with a weird sense of humor who thinks he's a wise old owl. But I had a wonderful, wonderful time at the College of Law. It was one of the great times of my life. the wisest thing that this old owl did at the College of Law was to woo and win that cute little Shirley Frost, who was well known at the College of Law in her own right because she was the favorite person to be called upon to play the damsel in distress at the practice court competition at Manette Hall. So she was famous long before I became a wise old owl. We've been together for over a half a century now, and most of the good things that have happened in my life have happened because of Shirley. I'm so glad that she's here now with our dear sister Marta and my nephew David Reynolds, who I'm very, very proud of. So this is a wonderful evening for the Pierson family. I thought about the thanks that have been given by the previous recipients to their clients. I have had clients that I hope were grateful, but I'm always reminded of that wonderful cartoon in the New Yorker where these two obvious I guess fat cats, we can say here, that were sitting in plush chairs by the window, sort of reminiscing about old times. And one of them said, if I had my life to live over again, I'd do it exactly the same way, only with better lawyers. And I am wondering if that's the view of some of my clients, although they've been very discreet about it. It is especially meaningful to me to be honored alongside, alongside trailblazers like Ada Lois, Scipio Fisher, who is simply a legend here and who left this College of Law so much better than she found it and brought it into modern American life. And I was always very proud that I believe the first African-American man to graduate from the College of Law was our classmate in the class of 1957, John Green. So we have come a long, long way, thank heavens. But I always enjoyed the College of Law because I knew it was preparing me for a good and important life. When I saw the roster of nominees tonight, well, I saw that my law class was the most recent class to have a representative, and I assumed that it was my role to represent the younger graduates of the College of Law. But it is clear that longevity plays some role in owl picking. And that was brought home to me when I received a letter. I've received very nice letters on this award, but one letter was so nice that I thought I ought to just share it with you. It says, "Dear DeVier, we would like to congratulate you on your induction into the Order of the Owl. We wish you success and many more achievements. Sincerely, the staff of Primrose Funeral Services." Willie, Bill, I think what we are what's known in the trade as hot prospects. Lawyers advertise too. So it really is a treat to be here alongside Bill Ross, who, as he indicated, I think we got acquainted as little boys when we were taking speech lessons together. And Willie, and he's always going to be Willie to me, Willie was really my mentor. He was my big brother in the fraternity house, plug. and he was my roommate, and he really took an 18-year-old, very green college freshman and told him what he needed to do to make his way in life, and I've always been very grateful for that. He was a wise old owl at the time. I understand that this award is given in a representative capacity. I simply am one more person representing the stream of rather remarkable graduates of the College of Law. It's hard to praise David Boren and Molly Boren too much, two great graduates of the College of Law. I think there is a reason why David, after being one of the most powerful and respected men in Washington, wanted to come back and guide this university because there was something about the University of Oklahoma that he understood could be brought to greatness. And under David's leadership, the University of Oklahoma has become one of the great public universities of the country. And we can all take a lot of pride in that, and thank you, David. And my old running mate, Andy Coates, and his generous comments, for those of you starting out in the legal profession, you would do very well to make Andy your role model, because here was someone who, at the very peak of his career as one of the most respected lawyers, not only in the state of Oklahoma, but in the country, chose to come back to the University of Oklahoma and take the leadership of the College of Law at a time of great challenge to the College of Law and guide it back to greatness. If you'll forgive me one personal vignette, one of the nights that really stands out in my memory is the night that Andy came to Washington to talk about the College of Law and his plans for the College of Law. And we went to dinner at the City Tavern, an old Revolutionary War era building. And we sat in the dining room, the same little private dining room before the same fireplace where 200 years ago, John Adams had sat at his farewell dinner before he went to the newly completed White House. And so it was a remarkable setting. And Andy showed me the plans for the new law center and laid out his vision for the College of Law, and then went back to Oklahoma and made that come to pass. And it's very fitting that the College of Law now conducts its affairs in Coates Hall. That is the right tribute to the person who led the charge to make that happen. And I, from a personal standpoint, I thank you, David, and I thank you, Andy, for just letting me come along for the ride during this past couple of decades. It's been a very, very exciting time. I think a lot about why lawyers are lawyers. And I've always been very proud of the fact, I always wanted to be a lawyer. From the time I was a little boy, I wanted to be a lawyer. And the practice of law has been my life work. But it's more of a political science, more than a political science or civics question when we talk about the rule of law, and when David talked about the rule of law. It is true that from the time of the founding of this country to the present time, that all of us have poured our hopes and our dreams and our experience and our common humanity into a body of rules that we call law. We lawyers have the great privilege of being the gatekeepers for that system, whether we are young or not so young, or whether we're students starting out in the practice, or old owls, or whether we're law professors or private practitioners or judges. We're all a part of that system. And that's a major responsibility, but it's also a very great privilege. And I am grateful for being permitted to be a part of that system, and to do so as a representative of this school that I love so much. There will be plenty of owls down the road, and I look forward to coming back here to help celebrate their entry into the Order of the Owl. It will be a rich tradition. Joe Harroz is a remarkable young man who is going to do great things for this university. I hope that we can all be a part of that for a long, long time to come. I appreciate very much your willingness to come here tonight. I especially appreciate my old friends who, despite any reservations they may have had as to the merit of the selection, were willing to come and be a part of this evening. So thank you so much, and I accept this on behalf of all graduates of the University of Oklahoma College of Law. Mm-hmm.